Okay, so we're back with my favorite project of late. We have done a complete cleanup on this guitar, a cleanup restoration type thing. The guitar was in such good condition to begin with, it really just needed some elbow grease. I got the pick guard back on. The only thing that's missing is the emblem. There was some glue left there. The camera probably doesn't pick it up, but the E emblem is still showing through, but we ordered a new one to put on there. That and a set of strings is really the only parts I've had to buy for this guitar. It is in such pristine original condition, and it responded so well to cleanup that you can tell from, this is part 4 of the series, and you remember what condition it was in, how dirty it was. It has just really come back to life. It is such a pleasure to see this guitar in its former glory, cleaned up, dressed fretboard. Today we cleaned up got the tuning pegs, the machine's all restored, cleaned, and operating properly so that we're ready to restring it. I'm going to put a new set of strings on it today. The one thing I'm going to do is just do a fret eraser on the actual fret wires. It's been played, but not a lot in its life. So we don't need to do any leveling. I already checked for level on all of the frets. We're good there. All the inlays are perfect. I even took off the pickups and tried to run the patent number on the back. We're still looking at an early 60s Survivor. I have not been able to pinpoint the exact year of it. Information and tracking on these old guitars is really difficult to get to the exact year, month, and so forth. But we know it's an early 60s. It could be anywhere from 62 to 65. And that's close enough for me. Beautiful example of a Survivor in original condition. The paint came back to life beautifully. It is so deep and rich. The back of the neck, the back of the headstock, the back of the guitar has some minor checking on it, but nothing to get in a twist over. As you can see, it really is beautiful. There's one little scratch there. I'm not going to wet sand it. I'm not going to go that far with this guitar. I believe anything that's left on the finish of this guitar is just proof of its age, its character. I can tell you that I love this guitar. So I'm gonna do a little cleanup on the actual the fret wires themselves, and we'll be right back. Okay, so we pretty much got everything strung up. We got E, A, D. We're getting ready to do the G. I did the high E and B. With 12 strings, things are a little bit different. You have the regular E, and then you have an octave E. So the high E one goes to the first peg, the low E one goes there, so forth. And you follow that trend all the way to the G. Each saddle has 2 slots cut in it, where a 6-string would only have 1. And then when you get to B and high E, those strings are exactly the same gauge, where E, A, D, and G are one larger, which is the regular size, and then you have the smaller one, which is the octave. So each time you pluck or fret a note, you're actually playing an octave. You're actually playing a chord each time you fret one of the strings, and it follows through all the way to the end. So we're going to go ahead and get the G string done, and we always do the small one first, just so you can see how we do this. And the reason I didn't show the entire thing is because it takes a while. Sorry about my head. And once you get the tension on there, of course, the tailpiece pulls up and it floats. And that holds the tension over the saddles. And of course, once we get done with all of this, we have to do the setup on it, which is basically following the same procedures as you would on any other guitar, 6-string, bass, whatever. Make sure that the end of the string is seated. And then we're going to go, lives there. It lives right in that spot. I don't know if the video's picking that up. So we're going to go 1, 2, we're going to use the whole string basically. And I'll use the same procedure. The first line goes above the hole, the peg hole. And every other successive wrap goes down underneath it. So if we can get it to start, that's what happens when you don't have enough string to go through. That's why I didn't film the whole thing, because it is a bear, especially with a long headstock. It's twice as long as any other guitar, a regular guitar, and to get these strings started is sometimes a little bit of a chore, but we'll get it. The trick is getting that first wrap and then the second wrap underneath it. It doesn't want to cooperate. Let's put a little bit more through there and bend it. See if that should give us enough. Yeah, just enough to grab it. And once it goes underneath the first wrap, it will lock itself onto the peg. And just pull these down, get it tight, and you gotta follow it down, make sure it gets in the saddle where it wants to live. And remember, there's 2 slots in each saddle on these because it's a 12-string, where a regular 6-string would only have 1 slot cut to receive each string. And we're there, there. No. And this is how 12 strings can become confusing. This last high G needs to go all the way up there. It's exactly opposite of this one. So we need to put the low octave G string in first. Alright, see, I caught myself making a mistake. And these things happen, you just go with the flow. Make sure that they're all going to the right peg head. These last few are fighting me. There we go. Let's take it up. Make sure that we're following the right path. Get it in the saddle where it belongs. Almost like you have to be an octopus to do this. Get everything lined up where it wants to live. Correct. correct saddle slot, correct peg head. We got just the right number of wraps on there. We're going to move on to the next, that last string, which looks like it's going to have just enough to get some wraps on there. This one could be tricky. Get through there. You can do it, Luch. Come on. It's going to live there. And it's going to live there. I believe we're going to be happy with that. Just enough to get the right number of wraps on here. It's fewer than I would like, but I can't make the string longer. I can only make it shorter. But it's going to grab and it's going to lock in there just fine. So, there we go. We've completely strung up our beautiful Riviera. We're going to call it a 64 Riviera 12-string Epiphone. And we're going to get it all tuned up, and we'll be back when we start doing the setup. Okay, we're all strung up, and now we're all set and ready to take the usual measurements for a setup, which is neck relief, string height, pickup height, and intonation. Everything seems to be, I played it a little bit, and it seems to be really good. Let's just check everything out and see. The body joint, we gotta push 2 strings down and check. Wow. I like that. I'm not even going to mess with it. It's a little loose. You might have to get in there and do a little bit of an adjustment. Let's check it out. A little bit tighter. Adjustment. Of course, this is going to set off all of our tuning, but we can still make these adjustments. Check the measurement. No, I don't like that. I want it to be a little bit closer. Let's just sight down this thing. With string tension on it, it's got way too much relief. So what I'll do, I'm going to tighten it up slightly. Should be a little better. Let's check it again. Remember, take your time with this stuff. Don't rush it. Small increments. Adjust, measure. Adjust, measure. It's better. And I want it even better. I think we need to grab another 1/8 of a turn on it. It's really responding well. Boy, for such an old instrument, it speaks volumes to the craftsmanship that went into these things. They were made to last and be adjusted and played for generations and generations. That's where we need to be. Not too straight, not too tight. Yep, just kissing 12 thousandths. Let us check string height. This could be a chore. It's raising, and it seems high to me, but I won't know until I check it. I think it's really high. Oh yeah, it's way high. Yeah, we're gonna have to lower everything down. Let's see where we're at on the high side. See, the high side's not bad. Yeah, if you get to the E and the A, the E is really tall. I want to see like 4, no more than 5 thousandths on the low end, and on the high end should be right around 4, maybe even a little less. So tune-o-matic. Let's lower her down and see how she responds. Down a little bit. Let's see. Now we're getting there. It's hard to hold that. The high string is in the way of getting a reading on the other one, but it should be the same. It is. It's at 4. And the high end went a little bit lower, but I think I'm going to live with that. It's just below 4 and 4. Yeah, I think I can live. It's just above 4 on the low end and just below 4 on the treble end, which should be for any kind of Gibson shaped object. And I kind of like that. No buzzing. I like that. Let's see what's going on with our pickups. I had these pickups out of here and they're way too close. Way too close. Let's get those guys down. Hopefully this doesn't end in a disaster. Never know when you're working on a 60-year-old instrument. Seem to be going down, responding nicely. I love these mini humbuckers. They just sound so sweet. Come on, give me something. Give me something. Oh, they're really high. There we go. Still just a little tall. The heartbreak is when you loosen that screw and then it pops off of the spring underneath. Then that's a whole new can of worms. You got to pull the pickups out and start all over. Let's see what we got over here. Not bad. A little tall. Come on, Luch, you can do it. It's almost all the way down. And again, whether you're working on a 6-string or a 12-string, these principles are all the same. These measurements are all the same. 12 thousandths of an inch capoed here for your neck relief at the 7th fret. Your string height varies with different kind of guitars. Do your research. I, through experience, know where certain guitars like to play, and I think this one's going to play beautifully where I set it up. I'm not hearing any string buzzing, which amazes me for a 60-year-old instrument. This guitar has just responded beautifully to everything I've done to it. From the cleanup to the mechanicals to the electronics, it just really blows my mind. Okay, that's it for today. The next time we talk, I'm going to let this guitar settle with an old instrument like this, wood, wire, nuts and bolts. We've had some things apart. We put them all back together. We restrung it. I'm going to retune it to pitch and let it hang for at least a couple of days. And then I'm going to check and make adjustments as necessary. We shouldn't have to do too much adjustment after that. The intonation and everything seemed beautiful on it. I already checked that before. And that's it for today. We'll talk soon.